Wow, you guys. What's up, y'all? Excuse me. Y'all already know, gotta give the disclaimers in the beginning. My throat a little off a little bit because of this little cough stuff I got going on. And y'all might hear this baby going in the back. But I'm watching this video, Narcissistic Relationships and BPD. I love Dr. Romney because she really helps me, like, y'all don't understand how this journey, like, I literally had to get away from everybody to even begin to understand myself. You know, and me doing a lot of self-reflection with God. That's why I owe it all to God. Like that girl said in the comments. I'm going to get to it. Y'all know I be all over the place. But it's really, like, emotional because this person that I have become is just amazing. You know, I still, of course, I have a lot of work to do. But the fact that God did this, like, I just feel like with any of these mental disorders, you literally have, it's not about going to a therapist. It's not about getting on all this medicine. They can help you understand things better. Like, but a lot of times me hearing the things that they say is things that God has already revealed to me. God put these people in my path. He put these people in my path. I didn't ever used to watch psychology videos and all of that stuff. Me watching prophetic words one day on my homepage, on the explore page, this just popped up. Just like this particular video right here. Like, it's always right on time as I'm praying to God, as I'm talking to God. He literally reveals these things to me. Like, what's the odds this video just pop up, like, all of a sudden? That's what God will do when he see you ready to receive certain information. When he see you ready, he'll allow it. He'll put it in front of your face. Like, you know, I can't make this stuff up. God has even exposed to me a lot of things that I've buried for so long that I didn't even want to remember, didn't think about, like, and just to get more into how I even got to this video today, because I'm sitting here watching Lee. If y'all don't know Lee, if you guys are in a relationship, a toxic relationship, or you're a narcissist abuse survivor, or you are in a relationship or a marriage or whatever, or a parent relationship, any type of dynamic, because narcissism comes in all forms. And oftentimes, what I'm learning is that it stems from the very first person that you've ever met in life, which is your parents. 9 times out of 10, narcissists are created by their parents. By their parents. And so is BPD. All these mental illnesses, they're all created by their childhood, by their upbringing, through the neglect of their parents, the enabling of their parents, these different things. And listening to Lee, he has narcissistic personality disorder. He literally has been in therapy for 5 years for this illness, and he says that he's actually going to have to be in therapy for the rest of his life. So he brings awareness to, you know, get other narcissists to end up going to seek help, so we can have a better nation, because the world is run off of narcissism. The world is run off of narcissism. Because you got, like I said in that last video, people want to debate me, and that's how I even know that God is healing me. Because normally where I want to respond to hit below the belt, no matter who it is, if I feel attacked, if I feel it in fear, I want to hit below the belt. I'm now giving grace to people. I'm now understanding that everybody don't have to think like me. I'm now understanding it's okay for other people to have different beliefs. My beliefs don't have to be conformed to yours, and yours don't have to be conformed to mine. Nonetheless, I know what God has done for me. I know what God has revealed to me. I really know God. I really have met God. Like, and I don't really want to get too off topic. But the world is run off of narcissism because it's a bunch of devils running around, the counterfeit versions of the real thing. And I'm going to say, like I said in the last video, people want to go against that. But if you understand who God is, if you really know God, you understand that, yes, you may have free will in this world, but it's under certain guidelines. You don't get to just do what you want outside of his guidelines. This is his world. He created this. He wants everything about him. He wants to get all the glory for everything. He is a jealous God, like it says in the 10 Commandments. I'm a jealous God. Don't you have no other idols before me? Those are narcissistic traits. Those are narcissistic traits. So yes, like I said, God is a narcissist. God is a narcissist. But he doesn't do it in the way where he wants to harm you like these other ones. He don't strategically just manipulate you just for his gain. It kind of is for his gain, but it's for yours too. If you understand how the devil, literally, the devil is not original. It's like, you have to think about why certain words exist. Why does the word counterfeit exist? Why does the word plagiarism exist? Because that stems off of what the devil has done to God. You take God's way and you try to make it your own by changing up a few little things. A few little things. Counterfeit money. It's like having the real dollar bill, which is God, the real valuable one, and then you copy it. Literally, carbon copy. You make an exact copy of it, but it's literally not real. It doesn't have the same symbolism, the same stamp. It doesn't have the same power. It doesn't have the same value as the real thing because it doesn't have that certified stamp that a real dollar bill has. That's literally how God and the devil is. And nobody can tell me this because God has revealed this to me. So people can have their own opinions. Some of you guys have your own opinions, and that is fine. But I still stand on what I say because I know what God has done for me. I wasn't raised up in a church, raised up with the Bible. God took me to his Bible. God healed me. God revealed to me that I was molested. God revealed these things to me. Things that I buried for so long that I didn't even understand. And that's why with him putting Lee in my face and me listening to some of these things that Lee says, Lee even said that he don't remember anything past the age of 8. And for a while, neither did I. I told y'all in some of these videos, I completely had shut out everything that has happened. I don't like to even think about negative things that has happened in my life. I act like it never happened, doesn't exist, and move on with my life. But truly, am I moving on? This is why I'm numb. This is why I was emotionally scarred. This is why I felt like I don't have no feelings. My heart is turned cold. Good girl turned bad. This is why. So basically, sitting here listening to Lee, I'm thinking, dang, am I a narcissist? Like, even though I know I'm not, because how can you be an empath and be a narcissist? I literally watch videos in here learning about empaths, and especially super empaths, I relate on every single last thing. Like, every point that all these videos that I watch, I am an empath. I'm a damaged one, and I just watched a video about that, about damaged empaths, the things that we do. That people-pleasing thing that I always talk about. But with watching some of the things that Lee said, I'm like, dang, am I a narcissist? Like, I do that too. I discard of people. I feel like once that candle that was lit, once it gets blown out, I'm like, okay, it's like I have an expiration date on people. As soon as from day one, it's like at some point I automatically believe that this is not gonna last forever. I don't believe that anything in my mind, nothing lasts forever. In my mind, everything is temporary. In my mind, love is not real. In my mind, so I'm like, am I a narcissist? But watching this video right here, because I know for a fact that I have BPD. Because of the rage, the things that she says, the instability of how you view yourself. It's the instability of behavior issues, like just being impulsive, rage, risky sex, and like road rage. All of the things that it says of the behavioral traits of a BPD person with BPD, all of those are me. The binge eating. Sometimes it could be reflected outwards or inwards. You can put that rage out onto other people, or at some point you put it all into yourself, and that's what we go to, gaslighting ourselves or tearing my own self down, saying these things about myself. And it's like, for me, I feel like I say this stuff about myself before another person can say it about me. Like, you can't tell me nothing about myself because I already know about myself. So it's like, you know, I beat you to the punch. And to see how she sits here in this video and talk about how the two disorders overlap, because I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, how am I BPD? And I always tell you, I have narcissistic traits. The way I discard of people, like, cut you off, like, it's nothing. Like, I could have been in love with you yesterday, and today, now I feel like you're irrelevant. Like, the ability to do that, you know, that's an illness. So just to hear her break it down, but she says the distinct difference between the two, which is, now I know for a fact, because I'm like, how can I be narcissistic personality disorder when they don't have empathy? Listening to Lee and all the other videos that I've been watching on narcissism, and just off of my own experience with the narcissist in my life, that's why I say with my second baby dad, he has a lot of narcissistic traits too, because like I said, we're literally so similar, except he believes his own lies. I barely lie, and when I do lie, I don't believe my own lies. It's a manipulation tactic for others. But my mom and my baby dad, they really lack empathy. They don't feel bad for other people. That's how I know that I'm not a narcissist, because I literally feel bad for others, which is why I try to take on their problems. I try to be the Mrs. Fix-It. And that's why oftentimes us as empaths, we get sucked into these narcissists, because we're like, we want to fix them. We want to fix the issue. You know, y'all, and it's just funny because I see so many girls that's in, you know, so many women in Lee's comments that say, is there anything, because basically a narcissist, they discard you, they invalidate you, gaslight you. It's literally like, they know what they're doing. Like I always say, they're smart. They know exactly what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know that they really feel these ways about you. Like Lee said in the video, initially, they might have felt like, oh, you're everything I could have ever dreamed of. You're everything I could have ever wanted. You're just awesome. God sent you for me. But then out of nowhere, in a day, in 2 days, in a month, in a year, after a while, that light switch just go off and be like, I don't really like this person. I don't like you. They become completely turned off about you. And that's when they do all their tactics, you know. And oftentimes when we're the receiver of that stuff, we're trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? Like, what did I do wrong? Everything was going great. Everything was this. The affection was there. The love was there. He was love bombing me. He was doing all these things. Now out of nowhere, it's nothing. So we spend our time trying to people please and like, what is it that I can do? Like I see the people in the comments. Is there anything that I can do to get that light switch turned back on for him? No, there's nothing you can do. And it's so funny because as I was watching it and Lee was talking about it, and before he even could answer it, I said no. And he said no, there's nothing you can do. There's once you have that in your mind about a person, once they feel like that about you, there's nothing that you can do to get that light switch turned back on. They've already discarded of you. They already, from day one, they already had a mental expiration date for you. And just because they keep you around, it doesn't mean that they still want you. They just could keep you around because you still allow them to, you still give them that narcissistic supply that they need. They can invalidate you. They can do all of that. And you're still going to do everything in your power to feed and boost their ego for them. So when I see the ladies in the comments saying, is there anything that I can do to get the switch turned back on? Hold on. When I see them saying, is there anything that I can do to get it turned back on? No. And this is why oftentimes we get broken. I said that with my first BD. That was the only man that I felt like I truly, truly was in love with. Like, I was so in love with him. So in love with him. And I haven't been in love before or after him. All them other dudes I done dealt with, I done told you I done dealt with some guys, but I never fell in love with them. And when I used to be with him, I used to be like, what is the deal? Like, what is up? Like, out of nowhere, we be going good. We just had family day. We just had a good time. And then out of nowhere, it's like, and because I'm an empath, I can feel the instant shift. I can feel it instantly. And he'll try to deny it. And then that makes me angry. I'm like, but you acting weird. So the BPD and me get to acting up. So the BPD and me get to acting up because my triggers are liars. People that can't be real. And I'm like, just tell me what it is so that we can work on this and fix it. But he don't even know what it is. A lot of times, they don't even know what's going on in their brain. Why is their brain even doing that? They don't, if they're not in tune with themselves, they don't understand that. A lot of times they believe they're doing nothing wrong. It could have been something very minute, very small, that was small to you, but huge to them. You might have told them something about your past that turned them off. And now it's like, ever since that moment, could have been something you did that didn't feed their ego. It could have been a numerous amount of things, but once the switch is gone off, there's no getting it back on for them. And we have to understand that, because we'll stay in it longer and longer, and we'll get hurt in the process. And then we'll spend time trying to force it. Okay, y'all. Baby sleep now. Hopefully she stays asleep. But with me, when he would do that to me, and now I'm like, okay, let me try to fix it. Either, you know, I'll start questioning him, or I might get mad myself, because now I'm like, okay, now you're shutting down. I'm facing abandonment issues again. It's like the BPD in me gets triggered. The fear of abandonment. That's literally what BPD is. Fear and abandonment. That's why our moods it's just crazy to see how narcissists literally trigger the borderline in us, because we fear abandonment. So now I'm like, oh, now we about to go beefing for however long, because you know how they are. They might go days, weeks, acting weird. Now you got to walk around on eggshells, and you can't have the good time you were once having. Now you got to be cautious of what to say, cautious of being in the same room. So it'll either send my BPD, I'll either go in rage, because now I'm like, what's up with you? Why are you acting like this to me? What are you doing? What happened? Why are you acting like this? We was just good. So it makes me rage. And now I might get to saying things out my mouth that may trigger another thing in you. And he just like, and it makes him push away more. You know, and then it might lead us to getting into a big explosion. Because now I'm saying things that just to purposely hurt you because you've hurt me. I'm feeling like you're abandoning me after I've already been abandoned for so long. I'm already used to people invalidating my feelings. I'm already used to people shutting me out. I'm already used to people rejecting me. I'm already used to that. And now you're doing it again. So now I have to go into isolation. And in isolation, I'm doing nothing but sitting there thinking of, what did I do wrong? What was it that I could have done differently? These are like so many thoughts going through my mind. And during that time, that's when my behaviors start to go. Okay, I'm binge eating to cope, to feel with the unworthiness, to feel like, oh, I just messed up again. I did it to him again. You know, and it just really makes sense with all of these symptoms of BPD. Like, I just cannot believe, I used to think that and that's what's another thing of that. We have our views of ourselves. They constantly change. One breath, I think, oh, I'm perfect too. That's why I say the narcissism and BPD, the characteristics are very, very similar. It's like the same thing, just we have the capacity for empathy and they don't. We have the capacity for empathy. But the only way it goes way out the door, like Dr. Romney said in the video, is when our stresses and when we're stressed and feel like we're in a crisis mode. When we feel like triggered and attacked is when we can turn the empathy completely off. But then even after we rage, after we go crazy, we'll feel bad after. I know I've said some mean, very mean things to my baby dad. That first one and the second one. You know, I've said some very mean things out of anger because of how you're invalidating me or ignoring me. And the abandonment, the fear like I'm being left. And this is why I also tend to leave people or cause things. I push people away too, because I'm like, you're going to end up leaving eventually. Like, in my mind, like I said, I feel like eventually you're going to leave or you're going to do something. So it's like, let me try to discard of you before you discard of me. You know, I realized that even just understanding everything now, understanding how I act towards my second baby dad, it's like the roles reversed. Like, I became my first baby dad, and my second baby dad is now me. The way that my baby dad would treat me, would discarding me, and then it left me figuring out what did I do? Well, let me try to figure out everything. Let me walk on eggshells to see. Let me just walk on eggshells around him because I don't want to piss him off. I don't want him to not like me. I don't want him to not want me around. I don't want him to try to put me out his house. I don't want to feel like this. That's what happens when you don't heal completely. When you don't fully heal. Because even though I took months after my first baby dad, I took months off from dealing with guys. That's why I first started to learn about narcissism. But I didn't believe that I was truly wrong for much. I just thought it was all him. I didn't understand how my BPD affected him. The things I would just say. And that's all it takes is one little thing. You critique, because they don't like criticism. They don't like no type of constructive criticism. So me giving constructive criticism on something, that was a trigger for him. And it's funny that he's even mentioned that this year about somebody else. He was saying, I don't like when nobody correct me. And I'm just listening to him talk. I'm like, oh, so this how you felt about me too. Like, you don't want to be corrected. Just allow you to do whatever it is you want. Don't correct you. Even if it has to do with my own kid, don't correct you. Even if it has to do with me, how you treated me, don't correct you. Just let you treat me like an animal. Let me just be a doormat. You just want me to be a doormat. You can do whatever you want, and I'm supposed to just sit there and serve that purpose of being a doormat. And that's where it triggers me. And now I'm lashing out. I'm getting volatile. And like she said, a relationship with a narcissist and a BPD person, it can become truly explosive, truly volatile. And I knew that, and that's why I had to leave him, because I seen how left it would go when my first daughter was her age, 1 year old. I'm like, I don't want her growing up seeing this, because mommy gets really angry, daddy gets really angry, me going into fight or flight mode when I feel attacked, I'll black out. It's not good for us to, it becomes very dangerous. Like this girl said in the comments, it becomes like two toddlers in grown-up bodies just screaming and bickering at each other, and it can go really left. And a child don't need to see that. That's why I always think the best thing for me and him was to separate. But then I went on, and now that I'm humble enough and learning myself and understanding this whole BPD thing, realizing that I even had this disorder, you know, my mind, the way my mind has been warped. Like, it's just crazy how our childhoods play so much effect onto how we even think and process information. Because I went and did the same thing to my second baby dad, and that's why he walks on eggshells, like I told you on that video yesterday. He don't feel like he could come to me about stuff. Even if he did see something going wrong, he don't feel like he don't feel like he can come to me about it, because she's going to zap. She's going to get violent. She's going to say something that really hits below the belt. She's going to do this. So now it's like, just shut up and walk on eggshells. And that's the same way I used to feel. Sometimes I didn't feel like arguing. So I'm like, I'm just going to be quiet and let him say his piece. Because I didn't have the capacity to even argue. And now I realize how I've done that with my second baby dad. And no matter what, he's still so open to trying to fix it. Meanwhile, I'm over here, I'm like, dude, it's done. It's over. You're done. Just be a parent to your child. It's over with that. Stop worrying about me. You know, I mean, he's very patient with me, but I'm not that patient with him. The same way I used to beg for my first baby dad. I used to beg for him to, let's just fix it. Let's just, now I see my second baby dad doing that to me. And now I feel kind of bad because, you know, and even with him saying the things that he said about my child, he know, you know, because we've had these talks, he know the one thing that I don't play about. I don't play about my child. I don't play about any of that. And I always would threaten him. I'll kill a nigga over my kids. Like, I really will. And that's still a valid fact. That's still a valid fact. But the thing is, because I know right from wrong, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm gonna have to be locked up or dead because of that. When I could just simply just avoid it, avoid relationships, avoid dynamics with these people. So I don't even have to do that. Because I always threaten both of them. I do. If you, anything to my kids, if anything goes on wrong and while they're in your possession, you're going to pay the price for it. And that might not be right to be threatening people. It's not right, actually. But because things happen. But I just feel like certain things shouldn't happen if you're being vigilant, if you're actually being present. And not just passing my child off to this person, passing my child or bringing anybody around my child. The same with me. Don't be just bringing anybody around your kid. That's why I know now I will never bring another soul around my children. Like, until I have fully vetted them. But now I understand that me moving so fast with these guys, moving fast, everything. I told y'all in that other video the other day, because of my abuse, the childhood molestation, everything went fast. And everything goes fast. And because I feel like everything is temporary, I try to rush everything. I try to suck as much good out while I can, because I know this is only temporary. It's not going to last forever. The moment I start feeling an instant shift in the energy, it sends my body into just like I don't even really know how to explain it, but it's just so funny how she said this stuff in this video, and then reading some of the comments, it just really brings more clarity to my life about this. And God is truly helping me with it, because even, yes, the other day when me and him got into it, yeah, I said some things, but I didn't go crazy like I would normally, like, bitch ass nigga, da-da-da-da, fuck you, da-da-da. I didn't do none of that. I kept my composure a little bit more. I did say what I said. I threw my little jabs at him too. But truly, it's out of a place where I don't trust you. And I just personally feel like once the trust is gone, I just feel like it's hard to get it back. That's why I am, even with my friendships, relationships, even with my mom, I'm like, it didn't went too far. I feel like once it goes too far, I feel like it's no way to come back from it. Even with me, if I didn't say something that hit below the belt, I'm like, this person can't just truly move past that. They're going to always hold on to that deep down inside. So we might as well just end it, because you're not going to truly forgive me. And then you're going to get me back. And then you're going to try, in my head, I believe you're going to try to get me back. And then when you get me to where you want me to be, you're going to leave and leave me feeling empty and depleted and abandoned, which is one of my issues. So I also realized, like I said, that's why I cut people off. So it's like, if I cut you off before you can cut me off, then I don't got to have those feelings of being rejected, you know. It is a lot, and I'm just glad God is helping me with it, because I used to always wonder, like, I knew that I was moody. I always said I was moody. I can feel it. I'm instantly moody. Like, it's getting better. But I feel those different emotions. Like, I get irritable being around people. That's why I isolate. Like, I don't really like being around people for a long period of time. I like to be to myself. I have to recharge after being around people. Like, I just can't. I'm a true introvert. I've always been introvert. Even though, like, younger, I would be around, have more friends and all of that. But even the experiences that I experienced with them. And I even think with one of my friends that I grew up with, the way she would act towards me. I'm like, I used to do everything for you. Like, why you switch up on me out of nowhere? She was a Gemini. And I think that's why I got this thing with Geminis too. Like, air signs, period. They're weird to me. Sorry, no offense. They're, but in some capacity, we all weird to one another in some degree or another. It's just a place where we don't really understand each other. And, yeah, so I just realized, like, ever since some of those things from when I was younger, just trying to please everybody, just being that people pleasing person, just so, you know, people can like me and people want to be around me and things like that, it has made me tolerate things that I shouldn't tolerate. It has made me leave people when I feel like, okay, I don't want to tolerate that. It's a bunch of conflicting emotions that I feel on a day-to-day. Because I just don't really know where I stand with people. So I choose to just stand off from people because I just be feeling like you're going to switch up. You're going to switch up. I just feel with no doubt in my mind, you're going to switch up at some point in time. And it's said that my brain just operates like that. It really is. But like my second baby dad would say, Tania, you are capable of being loved. You're loved. Like, and I think I don't know how to receive it from him because I've never had someone like him. I never had someone who just be around me, like, without using me. So I naturally felt like, okay, you didn't have the things I had, so you're naturally just using me. You're around me for these things. But even though he didn't ask me for anything, but you know how I am, you know, I'm naturally a giver. So you don't have to ask me for nothing. I'm just going to do because that's just what I do. I have that giving nature. But he also too does that because even though I may feel like, okay, you can't help out with my bills like I need to, but at the end of the day, you don't live here anyway. So it's not your job to even do that. But I feel like we have a kid together. So I've expected him to step up and get into a position where we can move in together. But I had to be able to trust you first on your own, trust that you can be stable on your own, trust that you can do those things for yourself before I brought it together. But now that I'm thinking about it, like, he tried, like, you didn't move at my pace. Like I said, I wanted him to move at my pace. Do it when I want you to do it. And that's why God had to send me on this journey. Like, everything is not about right when you want it, girl. God had to really humble me during this season and stop thinking that everything is just about money. Understand a person that truly loves you. Understand a person that cares about you. But I don't know, it's still iffy with him. But I also understand that I felt a connection with him. I might not have been in love with him like I was with my first baby dad, but I felt a connection with him that I didn't feel with no one else. That's why we like move so fast, and I still feel like a type of connection to him on a spiritual level. You know, and I felt like I was in love at first, but it went away after he said something to me one day, and ever since that day, it was turned off. That's why I was like, dang, am I a narcissist? Because once that light switch go off for me too, it's like, it's no getting it back. That's why I be like, I don't even want to rekindle the friendship, rekindle relationships. Let's just leave it there. I don't wish you no harm. I wish you well, wish you the best, but I don't feel the same about you. You know, but I understand that it takes two people to truly do the work. I now understand where I went wrong because I'm like, dang, and that's how he felt. Like, I did all this stuff. Like, I left the block for you. I gave up my family for you. He did do those things. But I feel like he wasn't doing it at my speed. I wanted you to do it at my speed. And I didn't never ask him to give up his family, but he felt like, I went against my family for you. They told me not to deal with you, this, that, and that. And I said, yeah, you be listening to a lot of stuff they say too. And you come back telling me what they say and think I want to hear that. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, was I telling you what my mama was saying? No. But You know, even when I kept telling him, you need to get off the block and get a job. He ended up getting a job. And he was working. He was going every day and doing what he was supposed to do. Come bring me a couple $100. Not much, but I'm not gonna act like he didn't. With the little that he had, he did help me out. He would come bring me $200. He'll come do that stuff. So now I feel kind of bad. I just didn't like what he said about my daughter. So now I'm really, but I understand too, he said that stuff to truly hurt me. Like, I've said a bunch of mean, wicked things too to people, like, more so to my baby dads, both of them. I've said some very wicked things to them. And I now understand it. Like, it's like I got my get back. My second baby dad was kind of my karma for the wicked things I said to my first baby dad. Oh, you know, now you see how it feels to be wicked to somebody and say those things, those low blows. You feel it. And now I feel it. You know, that's what I say. We all get our karma. We all get our karma. And I realized too, like, as soon as he started doing the stuff that I asked of him, I still wasn't happy because I was like, oh, it's too late. You should have been did it. You should have been stepped up. As soon as you found out I was pregnant, you should have stepped up. As soon as we did this, as soon as you should have been did that. You should have. But I didn't give him the time to process and I was rushing his process. You know, and that started making him hate me too. It will make you have that love-hate relationship with a person because it's like, dang, I really did this with this girl. Like, and like he said the other day, the one thing you said you would never do, you did. You said you would never be on this with me. You said this. And I'll be like, you said the one thing you said you would do, you did. Like, I realized I definitely was wrong too in that situation with him. Because when I left, he definitely was working. He definitely used to buy the Pampers all the time. But I just felt like he wasn't doing enough. You know, but I think too, that's like the BPD people feel. It's like the idealization of people and then the devaluing, going back and forth between them, conflicting emotions where you idolize them. You have these expectations for them and you see them as this type of a person, but then in the next breath, you go to devaluing them. You uplifting them just to tear them down. Tearing them down, then trying to lift them up and expect them to really believe that you feel like that about them when you just say the main things. So I can understand how he feel. And now I'm just sitting here like, damn girl, you're crazy. This is why I do my videos, really, like me talking, you know, to you guys has really helped me. Me seeing myself on camera, me hearing myself, like I can point out, you know, because a lot of times we don't see ourselves. Because we are in our own bodies. We're not on the outside looking in. So me watching these videos and just getting with God and learning everything I've learned within these months of me being here in Texas, I really see a lot. And I need to not be so hard on myself. I need to learn to have sympathy for myself just as much as I sympathize and empathize with others. Stop gaslighting myself. But I don't necessarily feel like it's gaslighting to a degree because I'm like, girl, that is like crazy behavior. You know how dudes be like, well, why are you single? And I be like, I'm crazy. Like, what's up with you? Just like with my baby dad, the road rage, he the one who, like, the second one really who showed me who I was, about me not knowing my worth. He tried to check me about the road rage that day. And you should have left me alone that day when I did that road rage stunt. Because I was like, we was on the way to IKEA to buy the little shelf. He was going to buy the shelf for me. But he didn't think it was going to fit in my car. And I'm like, it is going to fit. You need to make it fit in there. Because I really wanted it. Like, this being spoiled and stubborn, just wanting what I want. Like, I just want what I want. Having that Jezebel spirit, like, just wanting what you want. Wanting to control everything. Want everything when you want it, how you want it. Like, that's why God had to humble me. But he was like, I don't think it's going to fit. I was like, you just being lazy. You just don't want to make it fit. And so we get halfway there. And he said, I don't think it's going to fit. I'm like, why would you wait till I get all the way halfway here? Now you going to tell me you don't think it's going to fit and ask if I should just get it delivered to the house. I said, it costs to get it delivered. He was like, okay, I'm gonna just give you the money to pay for the delivery. And he did everything. I was just still mad. Like, I was just mad, raging. That rage, I go 0 to 100. And I started driving real crazy because I was mad. I just started driving fast and it's swerving the lane. Like, I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, it's like, girl, every time we get in the car, but that's why he ain't like riding in the car with me. Because he said, you need to relax. Like, you need to understand that you can't control these people out here. And that's my thing, trying to control other people. That Jezebel shit, trying to control folk. Trying to get them to move how I want them to move, when I want them to move. That's how I be feeling in the cars. I be like, I wish I could just play bumper cars with these people and move them out my way. It's not funny. It's literally crazy. But he made me realize, like, he was like, you got to understand that everybody out here, it's a lot of slow people in the world. So you got to give them grace for that, basically, and understand that. And you just move differently because you know how they are. You know how the people are, you know. And he always used to say, you just don't listen to me. Like, and I didn't listen to him. And I was like, and I told him that the other day. I was like, you right. That's what God had to teach me in this season. Like, I wasn't listening to you when you had some valid points, but I didn't listen because I'm like, oh, you ain't got no money for real. You ain't doing this. I'm smarter than you. Just being wicked like I was being. I was being really wicked with him. And, you know, like the other day, like I told y'all yesterday when we got into it a little bit, he was like, oh, like, before he calmed us down, like, he was like, you do this every time. Like, I send him through I send history. He's like, every time, like, this be like, fucking with you, I be good. He said, you throw my momentum off. You throw my momentum off. And me, I'm sitting there like, what did I even do? Like, but I know what I did. Like, I gaslight him too. And it's a lot. It takes true self-realization. It takes God. Like, we both got a lot of work to do. But I realized that I truly played a big part into the demise of our relationship too. Like, I played a big part too. And that's why we got to do the self-work. We got to let God in, because God has revealed to me, like, you're not completely innocent. You're not completely at fault either. You have your faults. It's triggers, though. The things that they do and say that triggers me, triggers the feelings of the past that I never dealt with. For so long, it took for me to get to Texas, you guys. It is November. I just started realizing this stuff, after the fight with my mom. So everything happened between May, June, and now. Like, the clarity that God has brought me within these couple months. I ran from so much stuff. Like, I used to just walk around like, I'm just happy. I'm good. I had my weed. I'm like, I don't care about nothing. I just got my weed. But now that I don't even smoke and stuff, like, I've really been able to I took away sex out the picture, took the weed out the picture, eliminated all the distractions. And now I've truly been able to understand me. And now God is helping me, because I clearly am doing much better, because I don't have the need to want to, like, have a comeback ready for you. Like, some of the people in the comments, normally at first I be thinking, like, I'm about to cuss you out. Like, let me say something to you. But I'm like, for what? You could think how you want. I know the real. I know what I know, and I'm not going to let nobody change my views on what I know. And I don't have to control them and make them feel how I feel. And, you know, it's just interesting. But I'm glad I'm on this healing journey. I'm glad God has revealed these things to me. I'm really becoming a better person. And I got a lot more work to do. But before, I never even thought I'd had any problems, for real. I just thought, I knew I was just ready to defend myself. I was very defensive. And I know I was very irritable. I've always been, like, irritable. That's why I like to spend time to myself. I easily get triggered, but I'm working on not easily getting triggered. And even when I'm getting triggered, just learn how to cope through that process without just zapping, lashing out, saying something mean, doing something mean, ready to fight, ready to do this. Like, I don't have to be such on defense anymore. Like I said, I still got a lot of work to do, but clearly I'm getting there. I'm doing a lot better. And with God, I'm going to continue to do better. I didn't have to go pay no therapist. I didn't have to go get on no medicine. You need God all up in this. Like that girl said in the comments to that guy, Lee's post about, because I guess we'll talk about that in another video, how narcissists are jealous of their own kids. But y'all can go watch him on Instagram. He did like a little post on that. His name is Mental Healness on Instagram. And she said, and it's just sad, just reading this stuff and hear him break it down. Like, this is how my mom is over me. And that's why I can't deal with her anymore. It saddens me because she's the only person, I don't have no family. I don't have no friends. The only family that I ever talked to is dead. My cousins are dead. My mom is the only other person, and my brother. Those are the people that were in my inner circle. My stepdad was there until, him and my mom split. So I have abandonment issues. I feel like everybody that come in my life leaves. My brother left when I was 16. He left the house. So, I just feel like everybody leaves and nobody cares about me. And I do be feeling like that. And they don't. But I now know that God cares about me and my children. They love and adore me. And I love and adore them. And it's because of them why I'm even on this journey, why I even found God. As I would forever give them praises to my children, especially this second baby. It's both of them for real. But this second one sealed the deal. And this is why I needed her. But the girl said the fact that they don't think anything is wrong with how they treat anyone, including their own children, is just pathetic. They be mad as hell in these comments. It'd be funny, but it's serious. It said that spirit operating behind the person is completely demonic. The sad part is most have no desire to change, and they are okay with their own sick behavior. It's ridiculous. You're so-called hurting, so projecting onto others make you feel better? Yeah, what a sick demonic way of thinking. Narcissists are miserable people on the inside. No one that is truly happy within acts like this. The fact y'all know what y'all are doing and see no problem with it is where I completely lack any empathy. You can't feel sorry for someone who blatantly knows how they are acting and what they're doing, and they see what it's doing to hurt others and they simply don't care. Why are we supposed to believe that therapy will help someone like this? Y'all enjoy the shit y'all are doing. It's in you. It's a spirit living within you that is operating day in, day out. Y'all allow it. That's what's sick about it all. Good for you trying to change, but I don't believe a narcissist has the mental capacity to ever change who they really are inside until they completely surrender to God. Most will never do that. I said, girl, facts. Therapy cannot help this because it's spiritual wickedness. It takes a true spiritual therapist that can rebuke the demonic spirit out of them by teaching them to truly surrender to God. She said, I absolutely agree. And it's true. Because even with my wicked ways, it's God. I've truly surrendered. And even it's other things that I still have to let up that he's working with me through. Feeling the need to get back and feeling the need to know, like, you're doing wrong and you still do it to hurt this person just because you feel like they're attacking you, when all you need to do is keep your composure. But it's okay I understand it's okay to have feelings. Feel those feelings, but just manage the feelings better instead of zapping. And I feel like I managed my feelings pretty well the other day. But it was that demon that lived inside of me that is buried deep down within. And I still feel like a little bit of it is still in there because I have that capacity to go off. When I get to the point where I don't feel the need to clap back and all of that, which I've been doing much better with. That's how I know it takes time, though. Just like he said he got to go to therapy for years, you got to stay with God every day, all day. And this is why I say you got to stay with God all day, every day. When you feel those convictions in your spirit, you have to answer them. You have to take it to God and repent for those actions and Ask him to help you, to help you. Literally, that's what I do. I ask God to help me with these things because I know only he can do it. These therapists, all they do is put you on medicine. The psychiatrists, they just want to put you on medicine just to treat, to tame it. It's not to cure it, it's to tame it. Look at why dealing with my own second BD, you've been on this medicine for how long? And you still all over the place. Because it just tames it. It tames the emotions so you're not going all over the place, zapping, having all these emotions in one breath in 5 minutes. Because when he was off the medicine, I saw how he zapped and just all, that's what led to this thing, because he was off the medicine. When he said that stuff about my child, he wasn't able to manage the emotions that he was feeling because of me rejecting him, all the rejection he's felt. Because that day when he initially said that stuff about her and said all that stuff about me, that you want me killed and all of this other stuff, it's because he was feeling rejected by me. When he feel like, dang, I'm at work, I'm working at this job I left the block for you, and you still saying, now that I even got this job, that then you still don't want me, and I done did all this stuff for you. Like, I'm trying to become a better person for you, and you still don't want me because I didn't do it when you wanted me to. You know, that's why I was definitely wrong with that, and I do feel bad about that because I know how it feels to be rejected. So to do that to him was hurtful when I already knew too, like, I'm all you have. And that's why part of me felt like I had to stay stuck with him even though I didn't want it, because I'm like, I know your history. I know how you are with your family. I know your mama you don't rock with your mom like that. I know the things, you know. And you felt like me having your baby, like you finally found your safe place. You finally got your baby that you wanted. You finally got some real love, just for me to turn around and do that same thing to you that they did, reject you and invalidate you and act like your feelings don't matter, like we do with these guys sometimes too. You know, it goes both ways. But it's truly something that only God can do, because they'll put you on the medicine and tame it, but it's not going to cure it. It's just like taking lifelong medicine for having HIV or something. You have to find the cure. You can't just treat it so the flares won't flare or whatever you get. You have to truly cure it. You have to kill it. It's like getting laser surgery on your hairs, on your body, because if you just shave, the hair will come right back. But if you laser it, kill the hairs off. You gotta kill it. You gotta kill it. And through God is the only way you can truly do that. You gotta kill off that demon seed. But yeah, y'all, just let God in. Let him help you through your issues. No one is perfect, you know, especially when you come from these traumatic backgrounds like some of us. A lot of times we don't even understand where a lot of our pain and our relationship troubles come from. We don't understand. Everybody act like it's just this stuff, when really this stuff go deeper back into childhood. We have to tend to them childhood wounds before we can ever become the person we truly need to be for another person. Or you can go on the journey together if y'all both are truly working together on those issues. So that's all I really wanted to say, and I'll see you guys in the next video, because I'm going to keep on talking about this stuff, bringing awareness to this stuff, because it's real. It's real. So